Okay. The topic is economics as a social science. That's the first chapter. So before we talk about economics as a social science, economics as science. So when we say economics is science, it means it uses scientific method. And what are scientific methods? I said a method that subjects theories and hypotheses to being disapproved by empirical evidence. So it is a scientific method because whatever theories that you come up with, whatever hypothesis that you come out with, if after taking out the practical side of it, we don't get the results, then we can disapprove it. We can take it away. That's scientific approach. That means whatever analysis we make, it must be made empirical before we can accept it, before we can make it to become a law. That is economics as a science. Do you get what I'm saying here? So it takes us to what we call scientific method. So for scientific method, I wrote a method that subjects theories or hypotheses to being disproved by empirical evidence. So whatever suggestion you come up with, whatever ideology or hypothesis you come up with, we would not take it off unless it is proved wrong. So it is subject to being on practicals. It has to go on practicals before we can say it is good, it is right or not, before we can make it to become law. It is still subjective. It's subjective to being practiced before it can become an objective. Is it clear? Then what is an hypothesis? I wrote, it is an idea that is suggested as an explanation for something, but that has not yet been proved to be true. It is still an hypothesis. It has been subjected, but it has not yet been proved. That's why we call it hypothesis. Is it clear? Theory, a hypothesis that is capable of being refuted by empirical evidence. Theory and hypothesis are almost the same. It's still theory is an hypothesis that will be subject to being taken off if it is proven wrong. So whatever it is, theories or theories or hypotheses, they have to be made empirical before we can take it to become a law. Is it clear? So that's about economics as a science. And we talked about this the scientific method of it already, right? I think it's clear up to now. So economics is a science if it goes through empirical aspects using scientific method. And when we talk about scientific method, we're talking about the theories and the hypotheses that has to be empirical before we can make them to become law. And what is law? Law is a theory or model that has been verified by empirical evidence. So it becomes a law because it has been verified through the practicals. Is scientific clear now? That's economics as a science. Economics using scientific method. Any question about it? So we move on. Theories and models now.
Theories and models.
Okay, we continue. So now we go to theories and models. What's the difference between theories and model? Theories are expressed in words. Theories are like the law of demand. The higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. That's a law. It's theory. It's expressed in word. But when you talk about models, models are expressed in mathematical terms using YT as income, present income, Y as income. This is what we mean by C as consumption. These are what we call models. Do you understand the difference between theories and models here? Theories are expressed in words. Models are expressed in mathematical terms. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Yeah. Then, what are the purpose of modeling? One, it helps us to make sense of what is going on around us. So, with modeling, we are able to make sense of, we are able to understand what's going on around us. Two, it helps us to know why something is as it is. With modeling, we'll be able to understand that, income is, PED is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. So we already know how it forms. Do you understand? This is what modeling helps us to do. Do you understand? So we get this answer because we have put 1 plus 1 together. The last one, it helps us to decide how to act. Now that we've known what we are looking for, using the price elasticity of demand, we are able to decide, we are able to take decision going forward. So these are the purpose of modeling. Is it clear?
Yes.
It helps us to know what is going on around us. 2, it helps us to understand why things are the way they are. And the last one, it helps us to act, to take decisions. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then we go to simplification. Because there are theories and models, then there will be simplification. So what is simplification? This implies that some factors have been included in the model and some have been omitted. Simplification means that these theories that we're talking about, some things have been added, some things have been taken away. So that is the criticism about economic theories and models. They say they are unrealistic. So that means they are formed to be truths. They are amended to make us to use them. That is what we are talking about here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That means you add some things, you take some things away to make them look real. That's why they say economic theories and models are unrealistic. They are unrealistic because they have been simplified. Some things have been taken away, some things have been added. Any question about it? Is it getting clearer now?
Yeah.
Great. All right, so we said economics. It's being said the models and theories are seen as unrealistic. Why? Because most of the time, they are based on assumptions. They would have taken certain things away and added certain things to make them look real. Do you understand what I'm saying? So most of the time, economists and scientists, they use assumptions to make things look real. Is it clear? Or they use it to solve problems. So there's always simplification. So because there's simplification, then it is unrealistic. It's not real. Now we go to assumptions now and ceteris paribus. So when you talk about assumptions, what do I write about assumptions? I wrote, assumptions allow the scientists to simplify a problem to make it easier to solve. So whenever you need to solve a problem, as scientists, what you do is you assume to make it easier, assuming that it has solved that word that is a dilemma, it has solved it, it has taken it away because you have made an assumption. I think you understand why assumption is used. Assumption is used to summarize that problem so that it can be easily solved. Then we go to ceteris paribus. I wrote, it is a way in which economists simplify reality. A way in which economists simplify reality. So there's a reality, like all things being equal. The word ceteris paribus is a Latin word meaning all things being equal or all things remain the same. So if all things remain the same, I'll be able to do that. All things being equal, I will be there tomorrow. These are assumptions. This is where you use ceteris paribus. You need to solve a problem, but solving that problem, you need to feel or to assume that the other things are left behind. So if these things doesn't change, I'll be able to solve this. So all things being equal, we will get here. That's ceteris paribus. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Assumption that every other things will remain the same. So if those things remain the same, then we are able to focus on this problem. Any question about that?
No.
Then we go to positive and normative economics. So for economics is concerned with two types of investigation. And those investigations are positive economics and normative economics. Do you understand? They are economics, they are investigation. Economists, they make investigations. They investigate. But what are they investigating on? They investigate on or positive economics or normative economics. Do you get it? So what is positive economics? For positive economics, I wrote, it is the scientific or objective study of the subject. So you are using the scientific approach to solve the problem, to get a positive statement. So there's a study that you need to understand, but you are using the scientific approach to get there. So when you're able to get there, there will be a positive statement. So positive economics will bring out what? Positive statements. So what is positive statement? A statement that can be proven to be true or false with evidence. It has to be supported with evidence. That's why we call it positive statement. So it has to be proven that it is true or false. It can be true, it can be false. But before we say it is true or false, it has to be proven with evidence. So there is positive economics that will give us a positive statement. So a positive statement can be a statement of reality or a statement of false. Do you understand positive statement here?
Yeah.
Then we go to normative economics. For normative economics, I wrote, it is concerned with value judgments. It deals with the study of and presentation of policy prescription about economics. For normative economics, it's about giving policy. You prescribe based on your own viewpoints, based on your own ideas, based on your own idea, like your opinion. So normative economics will bring out normative statements. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So normative economics will bring out what? Normative statement. And what's a normative statement? I wrote, these are statements that cannot be supported or refuted. They are statements that you cannot support or oppose. Ultimately, they are viewpoints about how economies and markets should work. They are your own suggestion about how things should be. So you cannot support it or oppose it because it doesn't have any proof. It's not fact. Do you understand the difference between these two investigations now? So there's economics investigation, which is either positive economics or normative economics. A positive economics will give us a positive statement, which are statements that can be supported or opposed, but they have to be proved by evidence. And normative economics are viewpoints on how things should be, which is what a normative statement. Do you understand the difference here?
Yeah.
So we started with economics as a science, which means it's based on hypotheses and methods. So there's models. Models are terms, economic terms, that are represented using mathematical terminologies. Then theories are words used in economic terms. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
Then we talk about law. Law, these are theories that has been proven with empirical method. It has been made empirical. It has been practicalized, and we've gotten the truth about it. Then it becomes a law. Any question about it? Do you understand economics as a social science now? Remember I said economics as a social science. Economics is a social science because it studies human behavior in relationship between the ends and the scarce means that have alternative science. But economics can also be a science if it goes through methods, methodology, scientific methods.
Yeah.
Any question about economics now?
No.
Clear?